Wow, Drebo Cap on with another video. Let's get into it. Birdman, evil brother, turned Gangsta Williams. Let's get into it.
Terrance Gangsta Williams was
Birdman, aka Baby.
born in the 70s to a father who had 25 children from different women. One of these children was his half-brother, Brian Birdman Williams, founder of Cash Money Records. Williams was born
Son of Fire Cash Money Records.
in New Orleans' infamous Magnolia Projects, quite possibly the worst zip code in the US at the time, a violent and depraved place. Growing up, Williams had a distant relationship with his dad and siblings because of his frequent stints in juvenile prison, somewhere he first went at age 9. He then started selling weed and stealing cars at 11. His brother Brian was close to his brother Eldrick Wise, and they'd hustle on the streets together. They inspired Williams to get in the streets himself. Weed, heroin, and crack were big when Williams was growing up, and he got into selling crack after his friend Mosquito started selling.
Yeah, crack made a lot of people money, but it also took a lot of people's life away. A lot of people that was selling crack at height, making millions. Probably not, don't have them millions no more. You know what I'm saying? Only a certain few probably got them. Probably like 25% of people in the whole US.
His brother Eldrick Wise was killed in '91. It remains unsolved. This didn't deter Williams, though. Outside his family, everyone around him was a bad influence. They taught him how to hustle, kill, and be a good criminal. New Orleans hoods were heartless in the '90s, and killing and conflict were normalized.
Man, almost every area, St. Louis, New York, shit, Chicago, shit, the Walls, Memphis, Los Angeles, Little Rock, East St. Louis, Illinois, Kansas City, Missouri, Baton Rouge, Miami, shit, Baltimore, Detroit, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of Las Vegas, Nashville, shit, Gary, Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky. Man, it's probably going on everywhere, man. 50%, 70, 65% of America. Crazy now, man.
Local hitmen competed for who could do the grisliest murder. Williams recalls seeing someone shot down, blasted to mush with an AK-47, and the paramedics scraping him off the ground.
Palalo, East Palalo, wherever that's in East Alto, wherever that California city at. Shit, what's going on everywhere? San Francisco, area, you know what I'm saying? Sacramento, you know what I'm saying? Going on every lot of places, you know what I'm saying?
Williams really got in the streets in '92. Around that time, after breaking out of juvenile, he shot a man with a Mac 11 for a local gangster and friend, Eric Maurice.
I seen that, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I seen the Mac 11 in person, boy. Them things little. Them things do show a lot of power in them mugs. I remember seeing a Mac 11 like in 2019, 2018. I seen first. I ain't see it the first time, but one of my first times seeing a Mac 11. You know what I'm saying, man? The thing was, he had the clip on under it. You know what I'm saying? Everything was little. We'll conceal it, man. Imagine a switch before a switch, man. I'm Mac 11, man. I don't condone violence or none of that, man.
He did it for free, to prove himself. It was his first shooting, and he was addicted after that. Williams looked up to another notorious gangster growing up, Blackie Moe, a teen he claimed had 15 murders under his belt, some of which he witnessed himself. A core memory he repeatedly recounts in his interviews is seeing Blackie Moe saw a dead body to pieces at age 15.
What was the most vicious thing you ever saw? I seen somebody get cut up before.
Damn. That's crazy, bro. Seeing somebody get cut up. That shit mentally kill you, cause you gotta see the pain in their eyes and all type of shit. A bullet this fast, bro. This might get cut in deeply playing for a Soviet seconds, man. That shit, man, it's minutes, man. That shit hurt your soul, man. Make you don't even want to probably be in that. You know what I'm saying? Make you not even want to get caught into that. You know?
I seen, yeah.
Like cut up like what, with like a switchblade or like
No, with a saw.
A saw. Oh,
Yeah,
body
I've seen
parts
that
off.
before. Yeah, I've seen that before.
Now wait. What scenario were you in to have?
Say again?
What scenario were you in to have seen some devilish shit like that?
Man, bro, it's a situation. The old head is deceased. Both of them is deceased who played a part in this. But I seen that and I was like, wow, I'm talking about they like literally took the hand and went to cutting it. Like, what the world? But yeah.
What part came off? Like,
The arm, they started from the arm, they hit the arm, legs. I saw him cut the head.
To keep his mind
Hey, that's crazy, man. Hit the head.
sharp in the streets, Blackie Moe didn't do drugs, drink, or smoke, and taught Williams to do the same. After dealing for a while, Williams also decided that he hated selling drugs. He preferred shooting, robbing, and taking hits. The rate for a hit was typically 10 to 20 grand, plus drugs sometimes. Blackie Moe would die at age 21 in a targeted shooting. But again, the violent demise of someone close to him did little to shake Williams up. Williams built a violent reputation in the streets, and while in juvenile, another respected gangster from the Magnolia, Elvin Killer Stone Nelson, gave Williams his nickname, Lil Gangsta. The HotBoys crew was formed in '94 and comprised of Magnolia hitmen Gangsta, Dooney, Sterling, and Mosquito. They went by the motto, "We don't bust raps, we bust caps." The term hot boy was local slang that implied both notoriety and popularity, with the hood, cops, enemies, or females. They had all the jewelry, girls, and the latest cars. They were all about stunting and having fun in the moment. Gangsta was known to throw money out the window around the city. In the 90s, the Hot Boys had beef with other projects like St. Thomas, but regardless, they thought they were untouchable. They prided themselves in on-site shootings and striking the enemy first. If they got shot at, they'd go shooting their enemies at random. And unlike some other cities, they used to walk. They'd go
Close one right here, man. This is close, man. I ain't gonna lie, this is close one right here.
shooting their enemies at random. And unlike some other cities, they used to walk up unmasked, so they make sure they hit their target. They didn't do drive-bys. They wrought so much havoc that by the end of '94, Gangsta had been arrested for murder 6 times, but the cases kept getting dropped. He even claims to have blackmailed a detective who was trying to convict him for a murder he didn't do. He had to have blackmailed a detective 6 times, but the cases kept getting dropped. He even claims to have blackmailed a detective who was trying to convict him for a murder he didn't do. He had a female record the detective confessing to falsely arresting Gangsta. After that, he had the detective arrest certain drug dealers so he could steal their drug stashes and money. Callio, another major project and one of America's worst, and the Magnolia used to be united. The Callio was also home to the Miller brothers, otherwise known as Master P, Silk the Shocker, and C Murda, rappers from No Limit Records, a New Orleans hip-hop powerhouse at the time. Unbeknownst to the hot
Only watch the documentary of Master P. Give this a like too, man. Just get this a like, share and subscribe and comment, man. Well, we gonna do it, man, for sure.
Boys, a war was brewing, and one night, Gangsta was almost killed in an attempted shooting. 2 nights later, his friend Mosquito was shot 18 times at the Callio projects. His death kicked off a war. Callio Slim, an enforcer for No Limit and friend to Master P, was the alleged shooter. Sterling would later be killed while hanging with Gangsta at the Iberville projects. He was shot several times after an ambush and foot chase. Gangsta claims that the war was 30 versus 3. He and friends OG Blabber and Hot Bezo against the Callio. Callio Slim didn't live much longer and was shot over 20 times in front of the Rose Tavern bar. Gangsta is said to have been responsible for the murder of Callio Slim, something that would later be proven false in jail in a peace brokering meeting between Gangsta and T-Dub, Callio Slim's cousin. The meeting officially squashed the beef. Ultimately, the Calliope vs. Magnolia war was part of the reason No Limit never clicked up with Cash Money.
I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough.
Got a chance now too. You know what I'm saying? It would have been a legendary. You know what I'm saying? Just emerge, man. Two different styles, kind of. But this, man, that heat, fire, music, man. You found music. You find music.
Brothers Birdman and Slim launched Cash Money Records in '91. Gangsta wasn't involved or interested in the music business himself. He was all about fast street money, though his brother Slim would encourage Gangsta to get out of the streets. Years later in '97, Gangsta claims to have come up with the name for Cash Money's breakout rap group himself, the HotBoys, something he has never been compensated for. He also claims to have given BG, short for Baby Gangsta, his stage name. Gangsta was there from the start and could see the prodigy in the then 14-year-old Lil Wayne when the HotBoys were kicking off. He played the role of an enforcer and had to check other rap crews and tell them to keep the dissing in the studio. When they toured, Gangsta would do heroin deals in different cities while the HotBoys were performing. He claims he was making more money than Cash Money at the time, 40 to 50K a day selling heroin. Plausible, because Cash Money was still a local act and not the hit factory it would grow to be a few years later. In fact, he was making so much that a rumor started that he had invested in Cash Money. Gangsta claims Birdman knew exactly what he was doing, but he paid him so he'd be quiet about it. For that reason, to this day, he feels like he had made some investment in Cash Money. He has still never been compensated. By '98, Gangsta's heroin enterprise grew big enough to get him involved with connects from Brooklyn, New York. He and a friend would fly to Brooklyn to meet them for the first time.
So, man, we go to New York. We flew into the John F. Kennedy Airport. We went to the Howard Johnson Hotel, and we caught a cab from there to this restaurant. Me and Blabber, OG Blabber. So we in this restaurant, and they got these two pretty Latino women. Man, I'm talking about beautiful. So I'm telling the connect. I'm like, listen. I said, me, one girl. She's like, later, we talk about that later. I'm like, all right now, but I want the girl now, man. I ain't worrying about the drug right now. I'm here now, I want her.
That boy was on it. He trying to get up on them cheeks. I get up on them legs. He did. That boy trying to get up on them cheeks, boy. He ain't trying to hear all that drool talk, boy.
So we go in the back of the restaurant. It's three of them. It's one light skinned, two light skinned, one your color dog. He's the head one. And as we talking, now back then, ounces of heroin was $2,500 back in New York back then. So he's trying to charge us $4,500. I'm like, man, I didn't came here first night. But I'm like, okay, I'm from out of town, so he's trying to treat me. I'm out of towner, right? But now, in my mind, I'm a gangster, right? So I'm getting a little upset, so we kind of like arguing a little bit, right? But I had to catch myself. I was like, hold up. Bro, you don't have a stick pin on you. You way in New York, nobody don't know you out here, and you in the back of a restaurant. It's like about 3 a.m. So they get the drugs. Blabber tests it, and we on this side of the restaurant, and Blabber we about to little deep fry it. So the man said, see, told you it's good. So Blabber ducked it there like, it's all right, ain't all that. I said, when he say that, it's good. So we negotiate the price, so we go up front. So the man section, he got me away from Blabber. He put me at this table and got Blabber at the table over there, talking to the other people. He said, me like you. Him no like, no trust. So, but I'm like, this is my brother you talking about. I'm talking about you don't like you. All right, we're going to get you. All right, I got something for you. So we work a deal out. I had wound up owing him $1,000. So we got the heroin. We went back to, we flew out there, but we got on a Greyhound to go back.
They made a partnership, and the Connects loved Gangsta because he'd sell their product fast. They planned on having him take over the whole New Orleans market. They also planned to visit New Orleans, but Gangsta had already made plans to lure them to a house, tie them up, and kill them. Something he unwisely discussed on his wiretapped phone. Gangsta had a separate Nokia and had wrongly thought his phone couldn't be tapped. It had taken the feds 3 months to get authorization to tap his phone. On March 6th, '98, before he could do the planned hit, Gangsta was arrested by an FBI tactical unit, and when the feds catch you, they have a 99% conviction rate. Birdman paid $20K for his lawyer, but surprisingly, Gangsta was offered 3 years to rat on Birdman and cash money. The prosecutors had it out for Birdman. They were convinced that cash money was a front for illegal activity. He was the one they really wanted. The feds also wanted him to confess to cold case murders to reduce his sentence, but he understood that doing that may have gotten him killed in the streets. Eventually, he confessed to killing 40 people himself and confessed to murders that his friends Sterling and Mosquito had done. They were already dead. In the end, he was charged with continual criminal enterprise and sentenced to life. He was 23.
They get him bogus. Yeah. The Feds magazine?
Continual criminal enterprise and sentenced to life. He
5 plus 20. AB and Slims. But Fed magazine, I never knew they had a Fed magazine. I think I heard something a long time ago. That's ready to read Wild Cash Money record CEOs, Baby and Slim, younger brother is in prison, serving a life plus 20 years sentence.
was 23. It was a charge typically reserved for kingpins, though Gangsta wasn't even pushing that much weight to begin with. At that time, he had no clue how the legal system worked, and today he feels like he was played. He was never actually convicted of murder. The fact that he'd never see his hometown again didn't really hit him till Hurricane Katrina in 2005. In '99, while inside, he started his own record label, Shot Caller Records, with various artists that made up Uptown superstars. They'd release one album under the label called No More Dreams. Gangsta would call in from jail to appear on the intro and outro.
It's the uptown thing, nigga. From the 3 to the 13. As I proceed to hit the motherfucking weed.
Yo, what's up, Wardy?
Yeah. I'm a little baby.
Hey, what's up with these clowns out here talking about they too cold to be a house?
Hey, bro, whatever. Gangster, killer, hustler, however you want to nickname yourself, say something like that. That only mean one thing.
Hey, this is what they used to straight do back in the 2000s. In the early 2010s, kind of too. They straight used to put dudes on songs and call them up the radio and put them on the radio on the song, bro. That's straight what they used to do back then, bro.
Man, that little girl inside, I'm getting grown, very mannish, and sassy.
Bro, man, you started your own record company from jail, dog.
For sure, baby.
Man, you gotta stop.
Hey, playboy, I can't be stopped.
Gangsta, man, what's coming up next, dog?
I'm trying to get Cash Money, Shot Caller, Sugar Slim to co-sign for me.
Co-sign for what?
Baby, I'm trying to buy the Superdome and have a DJ on the ferry.
Gangsta.
That boy talk like he fly. No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm talking about that. Yeah, he talk like he fly, like he got style with talk. New Orleans talk.
How in the hell you gonna pull that off from jail, dog?
It don't stop when a player get popped. But say, bro, I want to send a shout out to all my people who stuck with me with this album, who helped me out, my family, much love to all my homies that did, always been in my heart. And right now, bro, I'm about to go jump in my jacuzzi in the cell, bro.
For sure, bro. You lay that ball.
And they said I'm finna jump in my jacuzzi in the cell.
Back down, huh?
Hey, bro, like I say, bro, my money long, bro, you know, and with the help of Cash Money, bro, I can't be stopped, bro. Shot Caller Records, and with the help of Cash Money, bro, I can't be stopped, bro. Shot Caller Records on their way, baby.
Shot Caller for life, bro. You know, neighborhood superstars,
That nigga said my money long.
baby. You know, we coming out, man, for the 99, you heard me?
Hey, bro, I got a high leg Cadillac and Monty, bro. Made figure records, bro. They on their way too, bro.
For sure, bro.
And that nigga Mo Boy in here laying low with me, you heard me?
All top, bro.
And we just laying low, letting every nigga Mo Cadillac and Monty, bro. Made figure records, bro. They on their way too, bro.
For sure, bro.
And that nigga Mo Boy in here laying low with me, you heard me?
All top, bro.
And we
That nigga said move on here and that was me, you heard me?
Show, bro.
And that nigga Mo Boy in here laying low with me, you heard me?
All top, bro.
And we just laying low, letting everybody out there get this shine on. And you know what, bro? You know what I might do? Next, for the new millennium, for the prettiest female, bro, I might let her come visit me, bro. You heard me? I'm gonna hook you on Q93. I might give her to come visit me.
That's all good, you heard me.
I'm out, baby.
That nigga say I'm out, baby.
Buy one, get one famous bowls from KFC. Only on Uber Eats. Order now.
Saving for the car of your dreams is good.
Gangsta claims he could have signed Lil Wayne after a convo with Birdman about his HotBoys rights. Allegedly, Birdman wouldn't give him any money, so he asked to sign Lil Wayne, who was still 17 and not a mainstream act yet. This never materialized. Not long after, and not a main him any money, so he asked to sign Lil Wayne, who was still 17 and wouldn't give him any convo with Birdman about his HotBoys rights. Allegedly, Birdman wouldn't give him any money, so he asked to sign Lil Wayne, who was still 17 and not a mainstream act yet. This never materialized. Not long after his sentence though, Cash Money signed a $30 million deal with Universal. Cash Money blew up after that, and was a mainstay in 2000s hip-hop. A lot of major artists came up under Birdman, and Lil Wayne went on to sell hundreds of millions of records. Birdman cut his brother off after 6 months in prison because he was allegedly moving drugs in prison with the money he sent him. Birdman didn't need any more heat from the cops, especially with Cash Money finally picking up steam. The rest of Gangsta's people took care of him during his sentence. New Orleans murders dropped significantly when Gangsta was locked up. On the streets, the Dooney Boys emerged under
that shit picked back up too though. It dropped in 2000s kinda, cause that was the music, era. But that 2010, man, they picked that up. Even now, bro.
Doonies, the only hot boy left. Leadership after Sterling and Mosquito were killed, and Gangsta went to prison. Dooney ran the drug trade at the Magnolias with an iron fist, and it bred internal tension. In May 2000, a younger Magnolia resident shot Dooney, and he later died in the hospital. That was the end of the OG Hot Boys. After spending 23 years and 10 months in prison, Gangsta was released in 2022. The reason was never made public. Gangsta claims to have studied law in prison and appealed his sentence. He came back to a world where all his old enemies were dead, and his 2 kids grew up without him. He was met with resentment when he came home because some people felt like he had snitched. But Gangsta doesn't feel that way. When he came home,
So this is Cold Case Homicide Division. It's a 40 cold cases homicide. Damn. It's murdering Sam Washington along with his best friend. Damn. Murder. So he told on 40 dead people. Yeah, nah. He told on the whole New Orleans with he looked like Master Splinter on this pic. On this pic, Sammy the Bull has been outdone by from Louisiana. This ain't black history. This right history. What the? Everybody should run when you see this man. You know what I'm saying? It's just Boosie, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, cause they be banning his shit, bro. Bullshit. Yeah, man.
because some people felt like he had snitched. But Gangsta doesn't feel that way because no one has ever been convicted because of him. Gangsta is now a YouTuber and has plans to break into the movie industry. He claims that a lot of people lie on his name on the internet, with many snitching allegations, but he only entertains the internet drama because he gets paid to. Today, Gangsta prefers to be called Terrance Civilian Williams. He has no regrets or bad dreams about his past because all the dirt he did went by the street code. All he's done still hasn't hit him to this day. He thinks he might have a problem.
Shit crazy, man. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely react to more of this dude's story, man. It seems like some real good storytelling stories, man. If y'all want me to see more story or not XXX, hit that like button. Let's do it, man. Let's get it, man. Then I'm black as a black. I'm black as a black, and I'm blacker than a chat. You feel what I'm saying? You know what it is. Subscribe, like, and share. And I'll be back with y'all in the next one. Alright, baby.